my good people. This is Anthony, and again, I want to say thank you very much for getting opportunity to be in this channel, so that we can continue learning more about issues to do with finances, and that we can use our money in a wise way, and so many other details that are concerned to do with the finances. But before we proceed, I want you to help me by subscribing to this channel, because when you do that, you will be showing us love, and we will really appreciate for that. And also, if you can hit on the notification button, because when you do that, any video that we upload in this channel, you are going to be the first one to get. And also, you can like and share, because by liking and share, you're increasing the viewer in our account. And also, you will also be sharing the educative knowledge to many, maybe who cannot really access such information, so that they will also be wise in terms of their spending and using their money, and doing some of 1 to 3 investment. So as I said earlier, that today we are going to look at 4 pillars of personal finances, and we are going to begin by one of very important, and that is asset and liability. When you talk about asset and liability, these are fundamental element of your financial positions. And when you look at the difference between the two, the assets and the liability, then it drives you to your net worth. So when your liabilities are more higher than the asset, then that means you have the negative net worth, which is not really good. So you have to understand more about the asset, because you'll find that there's so many things that we can consider to be like an asset. Like, for example, the money that is in your checking account or saving account, they can be an asset. Or anything that you have that can easily be turned into cash when needed, then that is a simple meaning of how you can define asset. And someone was asking me if the car is an asset. The car can be an asset, provided it serves by maybe it is giving money back to your account, but it is a depreciating asset. When we talk about depreciating asset, it means that the moment you begin to drive it from the for example, in where you buy the car, that where the cars are, and you go and buy the car, the moment you just drive it from there, then it begins depreciating its value. So, and remember, that continue until it loses its lifespan. So if it can give money, then that I can say that it can be an asset if it can give money. But if it takes away money from you, then I really don't understand where we can put it, but it can be like a liability, because it's something that is taking money from you. So when we talk about liability, as I had shared at that time, that things that you need to understand, for example, and that's why we tell people to look at the money management. You have to know how to manage your debt and debt related, because if you don't, then you'll find yourself into a very serious option, how to figuring out how to balance the money that you use from your debts and how to pay them. And remember the consequences of that. It will lead to you lowering your credit score, and at the end it will be very hard for you to access or to buy some other things like the house and others, which it can give you some cash sometime. Then we talk about issue to do with the income. When we talked about the income, is for example, how do you calculate your income? When you talk about the income, remember that these are the money that you get maybe from working or doing businesses and other things, and at the end you get you're paid either by wages or by salary. But remember, it all depends of how you will really invest or use and utilize the money that you have. So once you understand that when you talk about uh, the all issue to do with budgeting and others, you have to talk about the expenses, and you have to understand your expenses and how it flows out of your money, because as you spend the money, it matters a lot. If you don't have an accurate way of calculating your expenses, and at the end you'll find yourself stuck, because every penny you spend, then it goes. But once you save also some, then will be good. And that's why in previous video, I remember I had talked about when you're doing budgeting, you also need not to forget about putting some money for your fun activities and other things, that miscellaneous activities, that at the end you will, in case something happens, then you can take the money there. Like for example, as parents, whereby sometimes we work with our children and then they ask us that, daddy or mommy, can we buy this and that? So if you didn't have some fund when you had put aside, then you will find yourself going into your saving and other things, or maybe cutting short of other expenses, or spending money that you had put aside to do very important thing. So you have to understand issue to do with the assets, liabilities, and how it the difference between the two will lead to you either having a negative net worth, or the positive net worth when maybe the asset is more. So the question here is, someone was asking me, I think one of the clients that we mentor and we are talking to, about how he can get assets, because like a country like here where we live in, if you are like the starter, getting some asset, it becomes very difficult, because when you talk about having a house, yeah, it's good because you'll be building equity, and that is one of the assets that you can collect as an asset. But me, I do advise people, especially those who are coming from other countries that are stable in terms of the political stability. Like in my case, I can talk about Kenya, where I come from. You can have as many assets as possible in that country, because getting them, it's more easier, building them is more easier, provided you do a personal account of it. You go by yourself, you do things by yourself, and then you come back. And that will be very important, because it's going to help you to build on the asset in that side. Or if you manage to get assets from here, like buy so many houses and many other things, though it's very expensive here, but at the end, when you will be calculating between the asset and the liability, then your net worth is going to be positive instead of negative. Because I know so many people who are living in a good houses and many other things, but are all in mortgage loans and others, though they have mortgage insurance and other things. But those, at the end, you find that you are giving a lot of money, so it becomes like a liability, though you're building equity, which is good, but you have to balance between the two. If you are fortunate that you have other access to other stable countries, that you can also put more of your asset there too. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me in this channel. I want to appreciate you, and I want to request one thing. If you can subscribe to this channel, I'll really appreciate, because you'll be supporting us, and you can also share, because when you share, you'll be increasing viewer in our channel, and that will be so great. And also you'll be passing very important information to many other people, so that they will also learn. Thank you very much, and I want to say God bless you.